Hello, everybody, and welcome to a Flesh and Blood production. This is going to be our second ever discussion video. I think it's the second ever discussion video.
I believe you're right, yeah.
And this is going to be more of a discussion video based on Everfest, based on the recent Banlist update, based on all those kinds of juicy details that you've probably seen 20 videos about YouTube already. But this is maybe slightly different. I don't know if it's a different take. We're going to be trying to go over different takes than what we've already seen. Just we're not here to be like, hey, this is a card, it could be good, wait and see. So we're gonna try to give a little bit more than that. And so we're skipping straight to Islander.
I keep correcting you, it's Icelander.
I'll do Icelander. I don't want to say Islander, just to tick Rob off.
Here. It's a pun on her element, Icelander.
It's true, Icelander. No, it's Elsa. It's definitely Elsa. Like, come on now,
yeah.
It's definitely Elsa. So
yeah.
She was released as part of the. Was it part of the card market? I think it was. Yeah, it was part of the card market brand releasing news that they now carry Flesh and Blood for the European market, which is fantastic. And we're not really going to talk about that much, but it's actually quite big news because that's like the TCG player equivalent out there in Europe. So they came out with a bang. This was also shown as the cold foil. Which kind of makes me believe that this is going to be the promo for next month. I don't know if it's next month, but it's either February or March, I imagine.
It was shown as a promo. We did see the promo logo on the bottom there. Yeah,
same as the Crucible came out with, I think came out with KO, right? And then went for
KO was first, and then we went to Kasai, Benji, Data Doll, and then Captain was last,
yeah. Captain, yeah. So I assume there'll be a similar kind of promo cycle for the next, couple months. Let's look at her ability real quick. So she is coming in at the Majestic tier, which is interesting because this is the first. Because Crucible didn't have this; they only had Shiana, which was legendary.
Yeah, they went from rare to legendary in Crucible.
Yeah, and it's interesting. This is a young hero with the ice element. So clearly, we see that she does get all the wizard cards from Arc. She also gets the wizard cards from Crew. And she gets the ice cards from Toa. However, she doesn't get Blazing Aether, and she doesn't get Lessons in Lava.
That's true.
Which are Kano specializations. Both extremely strong cards in their own right. And Blazing Aether makes up strategies by itself. Like you could play off Blazing Aether as your win con.
Yeah.
So,
but I would say it leans more towards Kano's strengths due to his ability to play it pretty much at instant speed by pitching a blue card, right? So.
No, for sure. But she does get access to all the big bursty stuff like Forked Lights. Like she still gets Stir Forked.
Yeah, Stir Forked.
She still gets
she's got Sonic Boom stuff. If she wants to.
She gets Sonic Boom.
Snapbacks, Gaze the Ages, yeah.
Chain Lightning. So all that good stuff here, and whatever support Everfest is going to give her, I'm sure it'll give some
a lot of Ice Wizard non-attack actions, most likely. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's take a look at her play non-attack action Blue Strip from Arsenals if they were instant. This is an interesting ability as it doesn't specify a class. It doesn't have to be a non-attack wizard card. It's just non-attack. So
it could be a potion.
You can play a potion, very, very much so. You can play a potion from Arsenal as an instant, meaning you're not going to be taking up an action point to do so, which is kind of a neat little thing that if you land on if you don't have an Arsenal card left, let's say you start with a 4-card hand, you play out everything or defend with everything, and it's your last card. Instead of worrying about the fact that you don't have an action point, go again to play the E-Pot or Time Snap or whatever, you can put it in your arsenal and play it the next turn. Now, it is also it's also interesting. You can play that E-Pot in the arsenal, and then they CNC you, and you respond with Energy Potion.
Yeah,
pretty funny. That'd be the ultimate bait right there, which is kind of the next level move there. I think it's very similar to like Cindered Foresight, which is what's exactly how that works right now.
On the opponent's turn, play as an instant, basically get away from E-Strike, from CNC rather.
Yeah, and so I know Jason Chung had a bit of an article about kind of talking about the different kind of pieces, like Blue Stir the Aether Winds, Blue Pentacles, and stuff like that. And I think there's also some other cards to consider, such as like Gaze the Ages Blue. And I say blue because it's only in blue, right?
Yeah.
Because out of all the Wizard Majestics, Gaze the Ages is the only one, I think.
I believe so. Yeah, I can't think of any others. Chain Lightning is yellow. I mean,
I mean, there are Ice Majestics that are blue. because you got Blizzard, right? However, that's already
Blizzard's a pretty nice one. Yeah, Blizzard's a pretty good one.
Though.
That's true, actually. You're right. But it creates a frostbite if you play it from the arsenal, right?
It does, which we'll talk about very shortly here.
Yeah.
So I think Stir and Voltic are like pieces to keep in mind, because not only does Stir come out as an instant, you were only able to really get it out from Arsenal as instant with your Striders, with your Storm Striders, which Icelander can use. So now it gives her another. You can only do the Blue Stir, but that Blue Stir puts a lot of combos into play with things such as Chain Lightning, right? So you can Blue Stir, pitch a Blue Stir, Chain Lightning, and then make your next thing an instant and try to keep chaining it off.
Yeah.
Right? So you can actually play more and more of your hand. You can do things like you can play Gaze the Aegis from the arsenal as an instant and play Snapback in response.
Yeah.
You play the Snapback in response, hold your priority, resolve Snapback, and then Gaze sees the Snapback, and you get the Opt back for hand.
And back to hand at the end.
To pitch it. Yeah, you won't be able to pitch it for Kano, of course. However, you essentially
you can put it back in your arsenal and then keep doing it. It's like an opt every turn for 2.
You get the free opt. The nice part of it also is like you can do it on your turn or their turn, right? If it's sitting in the arsenal, you can do it in your turn if you don't want to use the action point. You can do it on their turn just if you want to opt beforehand. I think there's also something to be said about the fact that it has nice synergy with some of the ice cards in mind, specifically going with the second ability that creates a frostbite. I feel like Icelander is going to play a lot like Lexi and Oldhim do currently. She's going to be a lot more control style.
More control.
She's not going to be. I don't know if she's going to be control. I think Everfest will need to bring something to make her truly.
She might be combo area. Disruption, maybe. You know, she might lean towards some combos, and then on turns where you don't really want to go off, you can be a bit more disruptive.
Mm-hmm. It is important to note that she is only a young hero. She is not in CC. I have seen some people say, "Oh, she can play exposed elements, fuse it with ice, try to take their null rune," and I'm like, in Blitz, I feel like that's fairly weak, because by the time you actually get so many cards to take off, first of all, like Blitz, you could have such a big sideboard. Like you're gonna have probably 2-3 null rune, no problem. It's like CC where they're like probably not bringing as much null rune.
Yeah.
But she's not a CC hero, so I feel like
as
far as ice goes,
I guess we don't know yet.
As far as ice goes, I really do like Winter's Bite.
Winter's Bite.
I was about to say grass. It's Bite, right?
I believe Bite was talked about in the article as well. I believe here it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Winter's Bite. I very much like that. Like as like the anti-ag. Like you get the frostbite, and you can play as an instant to disrupt their turn. So
it's really cool.
You won't be. Yeah, you'd be able to like disrupt their go wide turns pretty easily, and aggro is always like a very, very good blitz strategy that people tend to lean towards in the past, personally, that I've seen. Yeah. Very good against Kano disruption, very good against aggro disruption. Blizzard, another card I'm not surprised to see. Very, very good synergy with the frostbite. And
even though it's an instant that can be played regardless from Arsenal, she does get the added benefit of having the frostbite. So. Unless she only specifies for non-attack action cards, actually. Let's double check here. Whenever you play an ice, any ice. Yeah, exactly. So
it just has to be
any instance.
Turn.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I think she'd only be able to play on their turn with the arsenal, because she doesn't have the Kano ability.
Yeah.
And she doesn't really, unless there are more things that they give her to make things more instant. But I feel like it's a little bit dangerous. I also do like the. So there's those, because Wizard's Grab, there's the Blizzard, there's also the, I think Polar Blast is okay.
It's an okay card that can cycle itself. So it's a card that can save itself from being destroyed by CNC, maybe because you draw a card back.
Exactly.
But the effect is not going to matter at all, because you're not going to gain Dominate.
No, yeah.
I mean, you're always going to gain Dominate on their turn. Right.
I just think it's kind of like an ingrown Crown of Seeds. So you use your Tunic or whatever, and then you play that, gets played from Arsenal. Obviously, Dominate's not going to be relevant. You draw a card, and it's essentially Crown of Seas. You just don't get the damage pressure.
That's true.
It's not amazing. Don't get me wrong. It's not like
it's an option, and it does create the frostbite when you play it, right? So it could be a way to cycle a card. It costs 1. You cycle the card back, and you create the frostbite. So it's kind of like an instant speed 1 frostbite token, and the card comes back to your hand. So.
Yeah, the last card I'll kind of want to mention is a Channel Lake Frigid, which is a super interesting card.
Yeah.
Coming out as an instant speed. I mean, you're not going to get the go again because you're doing it on their turn, so you're not going to get the action point.
It's true.
However, They trigger their seismic surge. They trigger their soul shackle. In response, you flip a very nice channel like frigid. Tell them to go pay 1 for everything you want to do after.
Yeah.
So on any
yeah.
start of action phase triggers,
It's true. Because normally you can't respond with an instant card unless the opponent has played something first. So normally that's kind of bad because they can play something at at the face value, and then you react, so you can't kind of charge them or give them a toll on that card they already played. So like Eric talked about the Seismic Search token, you can actually respond to that with an instant. Seismic Search token wasn't the cost that they paid for free, right? So it's kind of like it pops. Okay, here's a Channel Lake Frigid, right?
Yeah.
Good luck.
So. Everything's going to cost 1 if you want a plating, if you want a Bravo, if you want a whatever.
Yeah.
This also affects chain more heavily, I feel, because like in that point, once like you're banishing, what if you banish some really crazy stuff? Like what if you banish like the nuts, but you can't even pay for it? You're gonna be taking damage off that.
Yeah,
that thing's gonna stay. That thing's gonna stay in there. The only thing you have to be careful is like, of course, you need to pitch the blue ice, right? But it's gonna be at the beginning of your end phase.
Right. Exactly.
So really, you can pitch a non-blue ice,
and then make sure you pitch a nice card for your own turn. Exactly. Yeah. So you can have the Channel Lake Frigid pretty much for 1 extra bonus turn, which is kind of cool. And it will create a Frostbite. It'll give them a Frostbite too. Well, while you're at it.
Create a Frostbite, and that additional turn is actually super useful against characters that also do instants. Like characters that also act on both players' turn.
Right.
That extra,
on your own turn.
Yeah.
You'll have it. Yeah.
Or, the big thing is D-reacts. Like having the extra one for both the reacts and their own turn.
It's true.
I just
chef's kiss.
I think I did a bit of a joint there, but it's you know what I'm trying to do here.
Oh man,
that's what happens when you record too late.
She's
so Highlander.
Icelander.
I'm calling her Highlander.
Zoolander.
So next we have the Guardian card.
Guardian card
that was
Mucho Grande.
We're just gonna call it Mucho Grande. Yeah. Do we have a picture of Mucho Grande?
Let me see if I can find it.
Mucho Grande.
Mucho Grande.
Yeah, I know we have it in all the spoilers.
It's
Macho Grande. We are Macho Grande.
Macho Grande.
So
on Card Market. Here it is.
Yeah. So Macho Grande, it comes in. It's a common. Comes in red, yellow, and blue flavors.
Oh gosh, I can't even maximize.
And it comes in for cost 7, and the blue comes in for 8. The yellow comes in for 9, and the red comes in for 10, and it has Dominate.
Yeah, here's the yellow one for 9, right?
That's the yellow one for 9. I really enjoy the fact that Guardian just keeps getting stuff every single set, more or less, after Arc. So I'm a big fan of this.
Yeah, they've never failed Guardian. This is a great addition, pretty much, to all Guardians, right? I mean, Oldhim and Bravo can use this.
Exactly. So I think it's very good for threat density as far as Oldhim is concerned, right? Because you're looking at Oldhim's option other than Oak and Old. You're not looking at a lot of other threats that are actually dominate and put pressure on in any particular way, right? Because right now Oldham's issue is that any character that can put stuff on the field and actually has like setup versus you just sit there and like you wait for it to come. You can't really be proactive. And so I think this Macho Grande is a pretty good option for a more proactive gameplay because it already has Dominate on it, which Oldhim can't get normally.
Important to note also, it's a 7 costed, so it's a very nice breakpoint for your Seismic Surge token.
Playing.
Yeah.
Yep, for the Tectonic playing. This is a very this is a supplemental set, so I feel like it was built for like with that in mind that like people are gonna be. It's not like Thumb, right?
Yeah.
4, it's like that breakpoint.
Yeah.
So I really like it. I think the blue is by far the most viable.
Best. Yeah.
Because in Bravo, what I'm thinking is all your mid-range and more aggressive options become not way more, but they become much easier to actually be proactive. Your Rouse the Ancients just become a lot easier to proc with a nice blue. It's a 7 costs, so it's 7 costs at 8 power. So it's good for the Rouse. You could pitch it for a Nothos. You can pitch it for, if you want Stamp Authority, it counts towards Stamp Authority. It's very good that you don't have to pay for Dominate, so it's got ingrown Dominate, like 2 blues, 8 Dominate with a pummel.
Yeah,
from Arsenal or
foam.
something,
Yeah.
you can actually have a 5-card hand for Mucho Grande for 12 with an on hit. Like that's strong for a common. Like it's a really solid common. I
Yeah.
think the yellow one and the red one they excite me less. I like the red one, maybe like an Ultim or something like that. I don't like the red as much because it competes with Crippling Crush, Spinal Crush,
Yeah.
Mangle, and probably some other ones that are going to come up. I think it competes with the red slot a little bit too much in Bravo for me. However, in Ultim, I think the red could be interesting for some different kind of. And in Valda, I've honestly no idea. I haven't really paid attention much to Valda. I heard she's a bit of a spillover character from Crew, and so that's just how life goes.
Could
but
be.
I think it's a good card. That's kind of my take on it.
Yeah, no, I think it looks great.
You know?
Same opinion here. I think it looks great. The blue, especially, 7 for 8.
I've really enjoyed all the memes I've seen, like all the edits I've seen. On
There's so many.
I like the Luchador one. I like the Nacho Libre one.
Yeah, that was good.
Perfect.
There was the one where showed that he was related to Ariana Grande or something. Ariana Grande's face on it.
Yeah. I always enjoyed the meme season just as much as the spoiler season. So
yeah. Oh, totally.
Those are kind of the next set cards. Those are all the previews that we're going over. We're gonna do more previews later, obviously when they come out. But now we're moving on to the ban list.
Yeah, the ban list, the most exciting article that we've seen in a while.
This was big, and the fact that they brought it up specifically before, because it was gonna be a February 2nd, and they brought it up on the 12th.
Yeah. Luckily, it won't affect the nationals for Australia,
New Zealand or Australia, which is like a big deal because you're not gonna. I think they know better than to like make this big of a change 2 weeks before their nationals for such a strong deck that people are either playing or playing against, teching against. I'm sure every New Zealander and Australian out there that really wants to win have playtested against the regular quote unquote Plunder on Briars,
of course,
lightning hybrids. The channel mount variant, that also the same way. So I do like that they're doing this change with the timing in mind. It would have been a little bit odd to say the least.
Yeah.
And so we'll go with the errata first. So the fact that you can only make one embodiment of Earth per turn. Right? Because it's only the first one that's hit. And so the original intention was to make your two block non-attacks 3 blocks, because I know there entails a lot more 2 blocks than on average.
Right.
Non-attacks.
And yeah, so how much does this actually affect her, right?
It affects her quite, like the lightning build affects her quite heavily in terms of the fact that Briar could match her incredible offensive turns with a solid defensive turn by blocking with a pulse for like 10. Ridiculous thing like that, or like even in Nats I saw some pretty ridiculous blocks with like pulse and some like non-attacks blocking for like 6.
Yeah, if you get 4 of the embodiments, you can block for 6 per card. Yeah,
it's just super. I'll use their words. It's super unfun. It's super unfun to just like have to block all this ridiculous damage, and then you're coming back and you're like, oh, I'm gonna take it this turn. Oh wait, I have to get through like.
It makes it almost impossible to pivot too, right? Because if you're, on a pivot turn, you would basically take the damage, right? You keep your 5-card hand, but then once you're kind of facing down 5 or 6 of their embodiments, you're kind of looking like, well, my CNC is not going to do anything anymore. Any big attack that has dominate or like crush with Bravo isn't going to do anything anymore. They can block with a single card.
You would need to save the nuts to literally get like 3 damage across, and it felt super bad. Like you might not even crush them. You might only get a couple damage because that's the other thing. Briar has a lot of armor. Someone who doesn't run Carrion Husk, she should have
the grasp helps so much.
The grasp, the skull cap. She can run.
The Skeleton if she wants to. Yeah, most of the time it's Tunic, I believe, but she can run Skeleton too if she wants to. Yeah. But
it's a lot of armor for such an offensive deck. So I think this definitely is going to tune down her.
Her defensive ability here.
Yeah, it gives other decks a chance to disrupt her like more frequently than ice. Like you don't have to be ice to disrupt her anymore, which I feel like was like a big issue with a lot of the game plans, the mid-range game plans out there that were just sitting there and waiting for pivoting, blocking a little bit, swinging. It's like, well, you're not fatiguing her, so you're really just whittling yourself down. Like I don't know. So I do like that change. They didn't change the lightning aspect, so you can still make your You could do your non-attack, make a lightning token.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. I think, and that'll lean into her more Earth side probably more favorably at this point. Lightning might die, but I think the Earth build might be a bit stronger.
Yeah, I think that once we're talking about the next ban and restricted cards, I think it's very evident.
That's true. We can jump right into it here. Yeah.
Yeah. So classic constructed.
So we've got
Blitz is ball lightning, which
ball lightning for both. Yeah.
Effective January 17th. So
in 5 days.
Their reasoning essentially was it wasn't working the way they planned, more or less. Is that like vaguely what I read? It was,
right.
To be honest with you, it was a super strange card when it came out. Nobody understood what the rulings were. I remember looking up this card, and the minute people were like, hold on, it does what to arcane damage? Wait, I can sting.
Especially the sting combo. I didn't understand that till later, and I was like, wait, that's actually overpowered as hell. I thought it was going to be just like the 1 extra damage per thing, but it's not. It combos.
It chains.
It chains, rather, yeah.
It's a single source of arcane, so like you can't even effectively block it that well.
That's true, right? If it's coming in for 4 arcane after a few sting ball, you know, like 4 arcane, what are you going to do?
And it has unconditional go again, which I think was the most broken part. Like I understand the buffing, but because it has unconditional go again, and you don't have to play like a Mavrian Skies to give it go again, or
true.
Obviously you can't, but like for Viscerai and stuff like that,
right,
you
can't
just like slam down an unconditional go again card in Viscerai. That doesn't happen, not an attack action.
No, that would be so broken, completely broken.
You would need like at the very minimum your condition is Rune Chance for
the spell, not Spellblade. I can pull it up, but it's the one that gains go again, and it's the one that gets discounted by X number of Rune Chance, and you gain go again. Yeah, but it's a 4-costed or 3-costed card, I think. So it's hard to play unless you have the Rune Chance. Yeah.
Ball lightning costs 0, so obviously a big target against these decks were ice that made everything cost more, and I think it was kind of telling that everyone was playing like at least like 6 of these things, sometimes 9 of these.
Sometimes
things,
9,
even if it had 0 block.
And the block you didn't really care about if you're an aggressive deck, right? Like 0 blocked or 3 block. I mean, it makes a difference, but it's not going to be that big of a difference for an aggro deck running these.
I think the combination of the fact that it's unconditional go again attack action that costs 0, that buffs everything on this
that buffs
chain,
everything.
So you just don't block anything on the chain. It's like, okay, well you just play your non-attack first.
The thing is, even if you commit to blocking ball lightning, the effect still propagates forward, right? Maybe they could have made it an on-hit. If you make it an on-hit, that buffs everything. Maybe that's a bit better, but it's unconditional, right? Just buff everything, including arcane damage.
This is just a damage source, so it's like, well, all right. So that means arcane is buffed, everything is buffed. So
yeah,
and it buffs itself too.
Yeah, no.
The red one hit, it did 4.
Yep.
Oh man.
Basically a 0-4 go again with the crazy ability to buff everything else. Yeah.
That's gone. I'm happy that's gone. I agree with the change. Beautiful foiling. But that's neither here nor there.
It's a collector piece now. It is a collector piece.
Plunder Run.
Yeah. Plunder Run.
Plunder Run's been here for a long time since Arc. Only banned in Classic Constructed. Noting it's not banned in Blitz. However, I don't think Blitz was really their main target here, which is fair.
Yeah.
This is the unfun. Well, Dustblade is technically the one they quoted.
That's the unfun one. Right?
But I think Plunder Run was unfun also to play against because it's such a good draw a card is so powerful in a game where you only get so many cards per turn.
Yeah.
There's not many cards that let you refresh as easily as here's a card that not only buffs it if you put it in the arsenal, but also you can't just block a attack and it goes away. No.
Yeah.
Once an attack in the chain hits, you know what I mean? It's not as simple, and I think it costs 0, right?
Yeah.
Blocks for 2. I guess blocking for 2 is not really super relevant, but it costs
it's a
0.
Non-attack action card that synergizes very well into the Rune Blades for Rosetta purposes. Triggers Viscerai's Rune Chant ability, which is great.
And I think the 2 decks that are going to get hurt the most, as they've mentioned, is obviously Briar and Chain. Chain so much so that the strategy of Chain has changed, but even before the strategy of Chain has changed, but even before when Seeds wasn't banned, I ran, as you'll see in one of the videos, I ran 6 of these things. 3
red, 3 blue, pretty much, right?
Yep. Plenty of decks run the yellow. it's just such a good card
Yeah.
all around, and it's very rarely, even
It's
from hand, it still replaces itself probably.
it's the
And if
kind of
it doesn't,
card. Yeah, it's the kind of card that you have in Arsenal and you pretty much go off on it, right? Like it's
you just sit there and wait, and then you come back with such tempo that the opponent can't really like come back from easily, and the game's kind of over, and it's like, well, all right, cool, I guess. But I
yeah,
definitely understand. And then for Briar, I think like it's very obvious. Like
yeah.
I
The thing
don't have
is,
to tell anyone here about what it did. It did.
yeah, yeah.
Briar.
The thing is, it's one of those cards that I really loved playing, though. I think it was a fun card, to be honest. I think that ability to kind of make people think about how they block, because the ability does propagate throughout your attack actions on the chain. I think if they release something similar in the future that is not as powerful, that'd be nice. Maybe one that costs 1 or something. Not the exact same effect, but something similar. Which might also be their motivation for banning it. Maybe they're going to be releasing a card that's, I guess, strictly a power decreep on Plunder Run.
Yeah.
In the next
I
set.
think they also mentioned the fact that like they have a fairly limited test group, to the point where they blatantly said they weren't expecting this kind of deck, like Lightning Briar. They didn't.
What have you
just
created?
them,
What have you
caught them
monsters
so off
done?
guard. And
Yeah.
I think that like I like that they admitted it, like the fact that you can't catch everything, like the fact
Yeah.
that people are creating these decks that are very different and very out of the box, like
Yeah.
goes to show that you've made a good enough card pool that it's not so obvious. It's not something.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And you've got people passionate enough about the game to kind of crack it a little bit, right? To push the boundaries.
Not break it, but crack it.
Just really, yeah, just bend it, bend but not break. And I mean, I don't blame LSS at all for this. This happens in every single TCG. I can think of multiple examples in Yu-Gi-Oh! Where they had to literally
Oh my
ban
God.
cards. Like the next week they
Banlist
came
is
out.
Oh my God,
I love their ban. I love their ban list, but it was kind of the thing where it's like every quarter you'd get a ban list update. You'd be like, "Oh, what's changed? What can I play now?" And they'd remove things from the ban list, put some things back, limit things to 1. Blah blah. But that just goes to say that it's a common occurrence in TCGs to have unexpected decks come out, and the Briar deck being, I guess, one of the first ones, I guess, besides Chain, to really kind of break things a little bit, because Chain was strong, but I feel like the Briar meta is more oppressive than the Chain meta, to be completely honest.
I agree to disagree. I think
You think Chain was
Monarch-
stronger? Yeah.
Chain and Monarch was his worst matchup was 50-50. Like what the I'm not gonna swear, but like it was so ridiculous that like you
Fair
either
enough,
were Chain, you either were Chain, or you tried your damnedest to beat him and maybe got the 50-50 off like unpracticed Chains players. Like it wasn't even like everyone. It's like you had to like find the right player.
The thing
That deck
is,
was broken.
the thing is, Chain did require a certain level of play to be that good.
Briar is easier.
Briar is much easier to play. A little brain
100%.
dead, to be honest. You kind of get your cards, you just play them all out. You don't block ever, and it's kind of like one-dimensional. Chain was too if you were good, because you could just basically not block anyway, or block certain things. But yeah, I guess we'll say that they were both very oppressive decks, and they've both been errated for good reason. Yeah,
No, I definitely agree. Now, do you think that maybe, as you were kind of mentioning, maybe bringing it to 1, like limiting it to 1?
Yeah,
or
that's what I expected they would bring this, to be honest. I expected this to be more of like a Yu-Gi-Oh style ban list, where you can have like, for example, of the reds, yellows, and blues, you instead of playing all 9 of them, you can play 3 of them. So you can only play like the 3 reds. You can't play the 3 reds and the 3 blues, for example, or you can go like 1 red, 2 blue, something like that. Because I mean, Plunder Run being banned, maybe just limiting it, even 1. Put 1 copy in your deck, and then if you get it, you can have fun with it.
I think 1 or 2 might have been the better call. Because the issue is like there's decks like Katsu.
Decks that aren't even that great right now that are suffering because of this, right?
They make it look balanced. Is the point? It's kind of like there are decks that, and even in the future, like there's decks that use the card like beneficially. Like they didn't break the deck with the card, but I feel like who knows? Maybe they're gonna get support in Everfest, as you said, like a generic something similar or whatever.
Something similar,
like,
and this might even kind of be breaking some of the design space they have, or narrowing it a little bit, right? So Bannock kind of made sense. Same with Duskblade, right? Like that just kind of like they just had something else completely out of control. Yeah, we made a mistake.
I just think I would have personally liked to see it limited at 1 or 2. Maybe one would be like more ideal, but like it's fine. I don't really.
It's fine. Yeah.
I like there to be middle grounds. I don't think it's either in the game or banned outright as like the going to be the future
True.
going forward.
And
But
because you have 9 copies of it to play around with, right? At this point,
mhm.
so it's kind of like it's not just like one card that you ban or keep. It's like you have 9
Yeah,
copies of it, so you can find some kind of middle ground. And maybe they
yeah,
plan on
since
doing that in the future. Who knows? But for now, they
yeah,
found it to be the right call to ban it. I support their decisions. I don't think I don't know enough about the game really to say that this was a bad decision. I think that they know what they're
yeah,
doing.
but like the internal testing and such, like we don't know what they're testing.
Yeah,
Coming to
exactly.
Everfest.
And they
I
obviously
just
know
think
what's coming in Everfest. We don't. So
yeah, I just think channel mount will be the Briar deck. Like that's gonna be
yeah,
the preeminent Briar deck.
Lightning Briar is kind of down the toilet a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. And as far as chain, you're gonna have to rebuild chain again because that deck heavily relies
He
on
lost
Plunder Run, so
seeds and now he lost Plunder Run. Ouch.
yeah,
Yeah.
chain is difficult to balance. I'm not gonna lie. That
Yeah.
shackle gives things go again is a little bit tricky.
It's so funny.
Dustblade here.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I won't cut you off. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Dustblade banned and Blitz. Come on, guys, really?
Why?
Like,
I mean,
I just no. I think it's funny. They're like, oh, we'll keep it on the watch list. That's all fine and well, but I think the reasoning was. But can you scroll down to the reasoning for the Dustblade ban just really quickly?
yeah.
I don't want to take things out of context here.
Here you go. Yeah, you want to read it?
When I read it, overall it's in a good place based on win rates from Skirmish Season 3. I would have ended the statement there. Like if they're in a good they're in a good place. Like there's no like super big issue. Despite this, we've heard feedback
Store
from
managers.
store managers. Massive question mark on that one. I need to
maybe TOs.
What exactly?
Maybe the TOs. The manager comes down and gets complaints by the players.
You'll see my face.
Maybe they mean TOs. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they mean the TOs here in this case. But anyway,
I'm a TO and I haven't complained about it. Okay. My let me continue here. We heard feedback from store managers and players across the world, that Dustblade is simply an unfun card, and this hit me right in the feels. It's an unfun card. Playing versus common sentiment, one-dimensional experience. Playing versus Dustblade rather than quote unquote playing flesh and blood.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this? I'm very like honestly as Dustblade, like I've played Viscera, I've played Briar, I've used Dustblade into Ultim just like everybody else. Honestly, I think it's good. Do I think it's impressive enough to ban it in Blitz? I personally don't think I don't think Rune Blades are as good in Blitz. Is the key here.
Right. So I'm going to say that I don't think that's the point they're trying to bring across. I think that if you're playing Dustblade, you really are going for a one-dimensional game plan.
Yeah,
and that's a non-attack with go again into Dustblade. That's pretty much all you're doing every turn. And if you keep doing it, you win. So keep blocking with maybe 1 or 2 cards every turn. Just keep going with Dustblade over and over again. Now, I'm not saying it's good. Because I personally never fought against a Dustblade deck. I don't even know how impressive. I haven't heard about Dustblade even being good in Blitz, to be honest, from anybody. Maybe it is in some other regions, but I personally haven't heard of it. But, I think it's just that playstyle that it kind of forces upon you. If you have it, you're pretty much building into attack, non-attack into
it's fair. I feel like they have the idea like Flesh and Blood is supposed to be player v player, like hero v hero, not hero v Dustblade, player v Dustblade. So I get it. I just think it's funny the way they like explained it.
The unfun part, yeah.
Unfun feedback from store managers. Nobody should be taking feedback for their very complex game from store managers. Maybe they meant TOs. I don't know. I also think they should have added a one-liner at the end, be like, okay, guys, we seriously made a mistake.
We made a serious mistake,
or something like that.
Yeah,
because that would have provided memes for days. So
yeah,
Dustblade.
And it's kind of cool that they actually, I mean, just at the bottom here, I'm seeing the footnote. They've actually scheduled the next ban and restriction announcement for April 5th.
Last time they said February 2nd. Here it is on January 12th.
So this is gonna be like March, right? This is gonna be immediately after Everfest comes out.
It's gonna be in the middle of Proquest season, guys. We forgot about this one.
Yeah.
I'm sure Proquest.
Oh my goodness.
That would be funny.
Anyway.
Okay, so overall, I think all of these bans are warranted. Honestly, like I totally get it. I've either played it or played against it. I totally get it.
Yeah.
I like the Ball Lightning one quite a bit. I like the Plunder Run one less.
Yeah.
However, I understand with the results. So kudos Dustblade, I agree with. I just thought the delivery was one of the funniest things.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Like an official card game article.
They might have initially started at banning it at CC and then keeping it in Blitz so people have the chance to play with it at least, because it is a card that just released, right? So it's like, here, you can play with it in Blitz. It's not that important. It's not like a major tournament upset kind of tool, right? Exactly. Just play with it for a bit. You've had your fun. Store managers complain. Let's ban it. Right. So that might be what happened there.
Okay. Let's roll on to our last topic here, which is going to be the Proquest announcement. Man, I think between Everfest and Proquest, February is going to be sick.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I'm super hyped because this article was released this today. Like I saw this article a couple hours ago before we were recording. We were just like, I was just like, Rob, it's a new article. We're going to add this to the docket for the discussion today. And we have what looks to be a Ranger card on the mat.
Yeah.
And I was talking to
zoom in.
I was talking to Rob about what I think this might be, and judging by the fact that it looks like very similar artistically to Red in the Ledger.
Yeah.
I think it's from the same
same kind of like warehouse type setting here. Yeah.
I think it's don't kill me for not knowing the lore, all our viewers here. I'm not super big lore guy. I do like lore, but I haven't got enough time into it, honestly. See, if I had the book, LSS, feel free to send me the book in hard copy, then I might be in
hard copy specifically.
I don't read well online. So it looks like the Ranger, it looks like where Azalea is from. So it could just be honestly, not entirely surprised to see like a young hero Ranger or something like that.
This could be a new hero also. The mask is something we haven't seen before. I don't remember seeing her wear this mask ever, and she doesn't wear masks in any of her other card arts, right? So
it's like a Poison the Tips-esque.
Kind of. It is one of those gas masks, here. I believe. Looks very gas masky.
Yeah, it looks like probably like a common, like if I had to guess, like a common or a rare Ranger generic. Not generic, obviously, just like a Ranger, not like Ice Ranger or whatever.
Yeah, it could be like a non-talented Ranger. It looks like the bow is new too. This looks like some kind of like crazy mechanical type bow here.
Watch us be completely wrong, and it's just like a character on some random art that they just like threw.
Yeah.
Another thing I want to mention is that they have Monarch and Tails cold foil heroes.
Yeah.
They must really just have a lot of extra Monarch cold foil heroes.
I mean, the only way to get these is just Rotonats, exactly. Yeah. So, I can see that they probably have a few hundred printed of each, and they just have leftovers probably.
I mean, I still need like a couple of the Monarch ones. I didn't really collect the cold foil heroes. However, if they've added cold foiling to the character art instead of just
what are these reprints?
Is that possible? Is it possible that these are like the reprints?
I can't read the codes. I can't read the codes at the bottom. What if they're new? Nah, I don't think they're gonna do that, because they're not gonna have this in the collector's center where they have two different promos that have the exact same name, but one has the full body cold foiling.
Look, Rob. I'm just try to imagine.
Trying to be optimistic here.
Full cold foil armor on Bolton, on old him.
And for those who don't know, we're referring to the fact that in the old cold foil heroes, they only had the bordering cold foil.
Everything up to Valda.
Up until Valda
changes.
They changed the body of the young hero to be cold foil. So I'm hoping that's their plan for moving forward. For every new hero that comes out in cold foil, put cold foil on the whole body. It's something I've been asking for so long, and I'm so happy they're finally doing it.
I think that's probably going to be the plan, given that they're doing it just for the already for the promo. So I figure everything promo up, which is like
exactly.
And then you get your gold foil. Nothing really changed, just still random.
Yeah.
So it could be a weapon, could be armor. I don't know what else. Probably just one of those two, I imagine.
I mean, I assumed it was just going to be armor, but they did mention it was also could be a weapon, right? Which is new. We haven't seen that before. Imagine gold foil Dawnblade. I don't know if that's going to be a thing, but that'd be nice.
I don't know about Dawn. I don't know about a token. I think it might be like a
majestic type level weapon. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it might be like a gold foil like Metacarpus nodes, or a gold foil Skeleda, or a gold foil.
Well, those aren't weapons. Those aren't weapons.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so they've got to be weapons. So I mean, I think all weapons right now aren't they all tokens? Okay, fine. The majestic dread sight. What a waste.
Got a gold foil Hexagore, I would laugh my ass off.
I'd play it. Just put it in my Levia deck.
I'll sell it to you. Don't worry. you and Mansaint can bid on that. Don't worry about it. So gold foil. So we got the Proquest mats. Do we know what the judge mats are?
Does it say here? Let me take a look. Including
I know they're,
extended art Rainbow Foil Wartune Herald promo. No,
but
no, we don't
not
know
gonna
what the
be,
mat's gonna be.
because the last one was the Herald of Judgment, but
Yeah.
the judge mat was New Horizon, which is like
Right.
so
It's
I guess maybe
completely
the judge mat.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's like an equipment from Everfest or something.
From
I don't
Everfest,
know.
that could be nice. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, we don't know from the article. Yeah.
Right, and the other thing that I noted here is I think you scroll down, they were talking about the invites for the ProQuest, that they're changing it to battle hardened. So I thought this was very interesting also. So because ProQuest is now going to become more of a mainstay, like reoccurring trending thing to feed into your quarterly or semi quarterly, well, not semi, I don't know the word. You know what I'm talking. I'm trying to talk about the more reoccurring ProQuest Pro Tour kind of cycle. And I feel like because ProQuest used to just be a piece of the calling, right? It used to be everyone's like, "Oh, you didn't make the main event?
Yeah.
Welcome to the ProQuest."
That's right. Yeah, we got you.
Yeah. Bamboozled. So we got at any big calling event and the national events. So now that they've separated it out here, so now they have is it hardened events or battle hardened events?
Where did it say that? Battle hardened events. Yes, exactly.
And so I like prize pools considerably larger than in-store events. I don't know what that means. Like, does that mean that ProQuest is in-store event and you're gonna get a gold foil for first? Does this mean there's gold foils for like top 4? Like,
so
does this mean there's like?
I'm like love hate to that idea, just because like I think gold foils should be reserved to like maybe first place to not dilute too much, because like people who own them are having too many out them would make them less special, right?
Because
so
I know the calling ones, the ProQuest at the calling, you got your skull cap, right? It always used to be skull cap. So maybe they make it like a gold foil card that you know of, that's like a more valuable card, guaranteed,
could be,
versus like a random gold foil drop majestic or lower.
Yeah, maybe they make gold foils more like canon, I guess, to like drop it down from like the legendary level to be like, you know, majestics or
making it
lower.
I think making it more accessible to majestics and like people's favorite used cards for equipment and weapons and stuff is a good idea.
That could be nice.
I do like it. People love gold. They've loved it for thousands and thousands of years. Gold finger, gold member, gold whoever you
gold
are.
labels on your BGS slabs.
I prefer black labels, but it's okay.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
Winners receive PTI they can redeem for entry into future events. I also like that it's an unrestricted PTI, so it's still going to be like you can use it for your Nats if you don't really want to play that much, but you still want to go to Nats.
Right.
You can use it for any Pro Tour.
Bit of liberty there.
To the one you're not like if it's in a. Because my issue with the ProQuest Pro Tour is if it's in a location you can't get to via COVID, via cost, via timing.
It like fizzles away.
No pressure. Yeah, exactly. It fizzles away. I don't know. They didn't put. They put. Right there for Worlds. Your country's now your Pro Tour or World Championships. The fact that you can use this for World, I love it. Big fun. I think I didn't notice the World. I thought it was just Nats and Pro Tour, and then I'm like, wow, you can use it
or
for
the
Worlds.
World Championships. Yeah.
Of course, you have to get first, but it says winners receive a PTI, so maybe it's like top 4
winners,
or something like that.
Maybe, unless it means just like generally like winners of these battle hardened things. Maybe it's just like first place.
Because what they mean by in-store event, I assume what they mean in LGS events versus like in big events, like the calling as a battle hardened whatever. So now battle hardened is now your like secondary calling event where you still get the nicer PTIs and the nicer prizing because it's a big event, and then your local LGS one will be like, well, it's more accessible. However, you probably have a less like big player base. Maybe the competition isn't as high for these kinds of level of awards.
Yeah,
totally get it. I really love this change. They've made it very clear to everybody. Kudos to LSS. I mean, obviously kudos. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. So kudos to LSS, right? That was. I think that's all we had on the docket. I think we.
Covered quite a bit today. But overall, some exciting stuff.
Yeah, we do have some exciting content coming up for Everfest. We do have some box breaks that are going to be nuts, and by nuts I mean I'm super excited, and I hope everyone's excited to watch me and Rob break a whole bunch of boxes. So we're going to have some of that. We're going to continue our series for the Back to Basics with our hero profile series also. We're going to be moving into classic constructed games sooner to go along with ProQuest. some Everfest preview reviews when more of them are out. January, more interviews, more everything. We're gonna have more everything. So please,
just everything.
let us know in the comments. Is there something you prefer seeing? Why? Is there something you'd like to see that we haven't done? Maybe a critique on one of our videos you'd like to see change. We're always looking to improve here. We take everything into account. We change our setups for gameplay. We've changed our setups for a lot of different things. So feel free to like, comment, subscribe if you like our content. This discussion will be on Spotify because I know a lot of people, I say a lot, people like listening to this in more relaxed settings. You're waiting for your significant other in bed. You're driving to work. You're on a travel job. You click that on. You can download it, listen to it on the plane, on the train, in the car, waiting for the bus, in transit. You can listen to it wherever you'd like. And so this discussion will go on Spotify. Feel free to check out our Twitter. I do make a point of letting people know what's coming out earlier, and so when the Spotify is up, I usually try to put it up before the YouTube a couple days, so people will get a bit of a sneak peek. I think that's about it. I think I covered everything.
Yeah.
So that's me and Rob from Eric and Rob. I know we don't have the little names, but we should probably, in case this is the first video they're watching of us, right? So my name is Eric. I'm joined by Rob, and appreciate everyone watching our Spark and Genius discussion video. Hope to see everyone in Everfest. Have a good rest of your day.